Hey, what's up guys? I'm underneath my 2012 Jeep Wrangler JK fixing the dreaded CV joint on the front drive shaft. I have a 3.5 inch lift, as you can see. It causes the boot to get torn up, spews grease all over everything. And I tried to put it on ramps, but you need to move the wheels. So I got some jack stands from Harbor Freight. Put it in too high to lock the drive shaft. I got one more bolt left to get. And then I have to pull all these bolts out here. I got the Teraflex kit. I watched the video on the awesome QR scanner to watch the video, and no, these guys are great. They got lifts and they got impact wrenches, this and that. Well, me, I got a stupid 15mm socket, 3/8 drive. I got a 5/16 wrench, and it's a pain in the butt. I'm gonna tell you that right away before you get started on a project like this. It's a pain in the butt, and I do hope the Teraflex Hi-Rezeppa CV Joint doesn't make me have to do this again in a year or so, because it's a pain in the butt. But as I pull everything off, I'll let you know how it goes.
This is not, this is what we get to work with. You know, I'm trying to put the Teraflex Hi-Rezeppa CV joint on the front drive shaft. I've made it to Harbor Freight. I got a crawler because I was laying on a tarp underneath there. I had to go pick up some jack stands because you can't do it on ramps because you have to be able to spin the wheel to get the bolts ready to an angle for you can get. And I had to go ahead and twist myself in there backwards, brace my foot against the tire, and kind of pull to break those loose because they're pretty tight. I already pulled the skid plate. There's my bolts right there. There's a pain in the butt to do as a driveway technician. All right, just saying. So in case you try to work on your Jeep yourself and do these things, it is a pain. But hopefully I get it done quick, and then she's back off-road. Not on-road, off-road.
So the one thing that did work in the video was banging that with a rubber mallet. It did kind of do it right, but you see I tied a piece of rope there around that mount, just to kind of hold it up tight, just kind of tied it. Shifted it back into neutral on the transfer case. So this way I can go ahead and spin the drive shaft around some more as I come back here and hopefully take these bolts off. Hopefully I'm not having to wheel in and out, in and out, in and out to put this in lock and back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But you can see the thing's pretty corroded and stuff. Can't wait to look at it there and see how it works. All right, we're back. I got all the little bolts and stuff out of the front at the transfer case. I'm about to take it out. They say to go ahead and take a screwdriver, put it in here and wedge and pry, and you can see it's already starting to come out. I banged it a couple times with a rubber mallet, like the Teraflex video said. Worked well. But you know, I'm really just a few inches away from the ground here. That's the big deal. Is it's like, okay, ground, Jeep. There's not really a lot of room to work on. If you're doing something like this at home in your driveway or in your garage, you don't have a lift. So it gets very tiring on your arms, you know, unless you have a whole bunch of extensions to stick on a wrench. You know, you're gonna need a good, you know, you got this cross member, you got the exhaust, this other bar here, you know, you got all these things here to try to get an impact in there to try to get these out. You know, you have to have different angles on your sockets and extensions trying to do that, and you know, you have to have an impact to do it. I have a small impact, but it's not anything major. So the hand turning of the wrenches really gets a little bit tedious. So this is actually coming out. I'll rebuild the drive shaft, and I'm gonna put it in probably next weekend because tomorrow is a men's Bible study. So I'm gonna have one of those 2-wheel drive JKs, but that's all right. All right, have a good one.
And she's out.
Let's really take a good long hard look at this.
You see how that is just tore up. There's absolutely no rubber seal in there. The bearings are all ate up. That thing right there has been eaten alive based on the lift. So I'll knock all this stuff off here in a minute and we'll take a really hard look at it. But yeah, that is just tore up. It's been making a terrible grinding noise as I drove. No rubber seal. Bearings have been eaten up. All right, we'll see. All right, so here we are. Here's the old crusty CV joint. You can tell by looking at that, this thing has been ate up. There's absolutely no grease in it. Just full of junk and ugh. So, but I got some brake clean to do this. I hope that's okay, and we'll just go from there. All right, I'll update this shortly. All right, so here we are. I went ahead and I greased up the CV joint. I used a pair of pliers. These are my snap ring pliers. But I used a pair of needle nose pliers and another pair of pliers to pull the clamp tight. Folded it over, tacked it in. We're good. Trying to buy a tool like that at the O'Reilly's. They didn't have it. AutoZone didn't have it. Advanced didn't have it. So had to make do. As you can see, it moves really well. Okay. It was pretty easy to line all this stuff up here with the bolts, like the video they said. Packed the grease well, filled the rest of this with grease, filled the rest of this right here with the grease. Now I'm about to go put this bad boy back on. Sorry I didn't video me packing the grease. If you really don't know how to pack grease into bearing or into the joint, you know, watch the other video. I'll probably tell you how much of a pain in the butt this is as I get under there. It is now 10:48 a.m. and we'll see how long it takes me to get this done. I'll pop in with another video here shortly. All right, here we are. I have the Jeep up on a couple ramps. I'm going to put a jack stand under the driver's side tire and pull the ramp out. And because Teraflex probably would not approve of how I jacked this up last time, I created a little stand for my generic red jack to kind of help give me a little bit extra space to help push it up. Got my creeper, drive shafts underneath there. I got my tools, my torque wrench. Let's put this bad boy back together. So here we are, front of the Jeep. I got the drive shaft tied up, a little yellow rope against that bracket here. So I got my socket wrench. It's wedged between the exhaust and the cross member. And I'm starting to tighten the bolts up on the CV joint. I tell you, it's a pain. No impact wrenches, no nothing. You know, you're kind of trying to tighten this as much as you can to get the bolts started, and then, you know, slowly wean them in. It's tiring. It's exhausting. You know, but you know, Teraflex. This is what I'm dealing with here. This is how a driveway mechanic does it. You know, Joe Handyman, working on his own Jeep. Of course, I'm kind of upset I didn't get any stickers with this kit, but anyways, I'll email you about that. But so far so good. I'll update here in a little bit, but having it tied up down there at the back makes it easier to go ahead and spin the drive shaft, so you can at least get these bolts started. And then you have to lock it into, you have to lock the transfer case to go ahead and get these, you know, torqued up really tight. And I don't know, I think it's like 15 pounds for these, 80 pounds for those. I don't know. But I'll update as I get everything bolted in and done, and I'll complain a little bit more. So, the Teraflex tool that they sent with it snapped. I had it on the torque wrench to go to 15 pounds, and it snapped. So I tried grinding into it to make it a little bit shorter to get in there, but it's still not fitting right, so I got to figure that out. But I'm going to bolt the rest of the drive shaft up now. Under there. We got her mounted up. I did break the tool that Teraflex sent me The 6mm Allen thing that did break. It's not a very sturdy one, so I did have a couple extras. Got everything torqued down to where it's supposed to be. Now we're gonna take her off-road. Let's see how she goes. There we are, mounted up. You can see the angle is a lot better there on the rubber bushing for my 3.5-inch lift. Shouldn't mind. We got her all torqued up down there. I did break the tool that Teraflex sent for this, but you know, I had an extra one, so I got it all squared away. We're about to take her off-road and see how it goes. But that's it for the Teraflex Hi-Rezeppa CV Joint replacement kit, blah, blah, blah. Teraflex, you owe me a sticker. All right, thanks. So here we are, 4-wheel drive. Don't mind the check engine light or the mileage. And there is no clicking, there's no tear, there's no nothing. We are running smooth. All right, we'll check back in shortly. Thank you.